Hey there, solar folk. I am Derek, the solar boy. I do solar maintenance and service. I'm a solar service manager and technician, and usually we like to talk here about the solar industry, the things that I'm seeing out in the field, codes, standards, all that good stuff to try to make our installations as robust as we can make them. But today I get to interview Laurel Hamilton from Mayfield Renewables. They are doing an education summit here this fall, which we'll get into all that in a bit. But Laurel Hamilton is the general manager at Mayfield Renewables. If you're not familiar with Mayfield, they are an engineering firm out of Oregon that does a lot of online education, in-person education, helping to elevate our skills as an industry. So, Laurel, I'm very excited to have you here. Welcome.
Yeah, so excited to be here, Derek, and just really glad that we could have the opportunity to chat about this a bit. And the summit is something I'm really excited about personally. Mayfield is a company, we're excited about it, so happy to share.
Awesome. So what is your sort of day-to-day as a general manager at Mayfield? I'm sure that encompasses a lot.
Yeah, so that's kind of a funny question, and it's not an easy answer, honestly. So I've been at Mayfield for 3.5 years. We are, like you said, an engineering consultancy first and foremost, but a lot of folks know us through a lot of the educational content that we put out, as well as Ryan Mayfield himself has been teaching NEC, National Electrical Code standards for solar specifically, and more lately, a lot of energy storage. So we are well known. My role, though, I do wear a lot of hats, and that's kind of typical for myself in the solar industry. For the 10 years I've been in it, prior to Mayfield, I was with some EPCs and installation firms, and have I've seen it all. I've been the boots, I've been the marketing and the sales. So I have a pretty good idea of kind of the whole industry. And now with Mayfield, we're trying to support the industry grow as a whole. We're trying to grow proper installation across the country, and Mayfield, we're really fortunate to have a lot of expertise. So a lot of what we do is just trying to get the expertise out there in different ways to help the industry grow in the right direction.
Excellent. So let's get into just the details of the Education Summit. What all are we doing at the conference? What kind of workshops can attendees expect? Are there networking opportunities? What are you hoping people can get out of the summit?
Yeah, so this is our inaugural Education Summit. Hopefully there will be more in the future. This was my suggestion that we do this. We've been doing education in different formats at other conferences. A lot of folks know us at the NABCEP conference, which is a wonderful gathering of the solar community. And I just really wanted to create another space where education is the focus. A lot of technical content around topics that we're hearing the most often as engineers for systems from the CNI range up to utility scale, and a lot of energy storage and microgrids too. So we, in our day-to-day work, we get a lot of challenges that we're helping to solve as the engineer of record. And so a lot of the coursework that we're developing is geared towards helping folks understand the fundamentals to solve those problems themselves. So we have classes around the current codes and standards, so 2023 updates. We have classes around PCS, power control systems, and energy management systems, which there's going to be some changes coming down the road for energy storage systems. That's going to be really important for people to be aware of. We have some classes around microgrid feasibility and how to look at properly planning these more complex systems. We have, a number of different classes. I encourage people to look at the website and check it out. But yeah, I would say the focus is both solar and storage, and topics that we're hearing kind of top of mind right now with a lot of questions. So trying to be really current and help folks navigate these more challenging systems that are coming up.
And this is happening October 3rd, right?
Yeah, so it happens on October 3rd is the all-day education summit. There will be 5 different times that you can take during the day, but 15 classes overall, so 3 different classrooms. And then we will be providing, a lot of opportunity for networking as well, because I think that that's an important aspect of any kind of in-person gathering. It's just getting to know your peers and making those connections. Everybody that'll be there will be focused on quality and learning. So I tend to think that those kind of networking opportunities are really good too. So we'll have the meal times in kind of a joint atrium space, as well as after the sessions end, we'll have a couple of hours in the evening time to just relax. So on the October 3rd time for the summit, we're doing a welcome event the night before. And folks can opt to do one or the other or both. I would encourage everybody to do both, obviously, but wanted to have that flexibility for folks. So the night before, we're doing a welcome panel presentation, and that'll include folks from HeatSpring, which is kind of the national platform that has all sorts of different education for the industry. We also have a representative from the University of Texas, which is our host there, the Energy Institute, as well as a local nonprofit around workforce development. And then NABCEP is also participating. So the panel presentation will be more of a space for everybody to come together, be excited that we're actually doing this, and just kind of talk about why education matters in the industry and how it's important in the different avenues, whether it's traditional, research focused at universities or your day-to-day updated learning that you need from things like NABCEP and HeatSpring.
Yeah, cool. So this is the first thing that popped into mind when I saw this was like, oh, this is kind of like NABCEP CE a little bit, different place. Do you feel like there is something, what do you feel like might be different about how you guys put on a training conference versus, something like NABCEP CE?
Yeah. So, I've been going to the NABCEP continuing education conference for years, and I think everybody that goes, including myself, feels like it's the best gathering currently of the industry events because of that focus on education and the kind of community that happens while you're all in this space. It's almost like camp. So I did have that in mind. However, ours is different in that all of the classes are going to be Mayfield classes. So if anybody's familiar with, even going to the NABCEP conference, Ryan does the all-day code class at the end of the week. So that level of content. We've been putting out best in class content with like different graphics, animations, just ways to try to help learning in all of our classes. And so you can expect that level of content throughout the conference. There's a handful of guest lecturers that will be coming in as well, but even those courses, we're having the heavier lift on making sure that the content is developed to our standards. The other aspect, I think, is that we are collaborating with the university and that it is a nonprofit event overall. So, I'm trying to keep the costs affordable and accessible for folks to come in. The whole goal is really to be a resource. Mayfield's tagline is making expertise accessible. And so I think that this is us just taking that to another level. So we're putting a lot of effort into it, but it is a nonprofit venture overall.
Yeah, cool. So you mentioned collaborators. I noticed you're partnering with a number of industry experts. So who all are you partnering with at this point, and what are you excited about hearing or seeing from them?
Yeah, so I mentioned the PCS one, Power Control Systems. That one is being spearheaded by Jason Fisher, and he's been a longtime friend of Mayfield. He has been serving as a member on the code making panel for many years, and has just been a really great subject matter expert that we decided to call upon for that particular topic. Angel Zayas is our latest, we're partnering with him for Spanish language instruction. So he will be teaching a couple of the code classes for energy storage that Ryan will be teaching in English at the same time in Spanish. So I'm excited for that. We also have someone from Hammond Power Solutions, which is a well-known transformer company. So wanted to bring in somebody more knowledgeable, more expert than our own staff around transformer topics, because there's been a lot of questions around, energy storage transformers and PV transformers and integrating properly.
Cool. Yeah. And collecting such a large amount of knowledge at a conference all under one roof, I imagine that's not easy. I did want to, I was curious because I did go through see what you've done in the past, and you have a storied career, not just in solar, but like working with people with disabilities to reach their vocational goals, presenting, analyzing large amounts of data for like UN level type of analysis, that kind of thing. So you have a lot of experience with connecting with people, analyzing data, communicating that. How do you feel like that uniquely enables you and also therefore Mayfield to pull off something like this?
That is a funny question, Derek. I haven't. So yes, my career is not a straight path at all. If you look
Which are the most interesting ones, in my opinion.
So I have done, I started out of college doing some social work, and then I got my master's in global public health, working internationally, and then kind of fell into the solar industry. And I do think that I have a pretty varied experience, and everything that I've done, it's a matter of figuring out what you're good at, what you need help with, and calling upon like your community and your resources, and also making connections throughout, your work that you don't necessarily know where that connection is going to go, but no conversation or no connection, I think, is necessarily wasted. And one thing I love about the solar industry is that it is, even though we're growing, even though there's lots of mergers and acquisitions, it's still a community, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. The folks who've been in it for a while, even me when I was new, I was pretty well embraced by the longtime community, at NABCEP in particular, and my local area as well. And so I think I've just learned how to make those connections and reach out to them and make them feel valued too, because that's important to me as well. And that is part of how this is going to be successful, right? We have Brian Mihalik from SEI, who's also coming and co-teaching with Ryan, one of the code classes, who's, he's been teaching kind of the same longevity as Ryan Mayfield. So that's an exciting connection there. Just everybody that's coming, I think, is seeing the need for more education and training in the industry, and excited about the opportunity to have more venues to bring it to the people.
Very cool. So with everything that you do, this is not related to the conference, but do you have free time? And if so, what do you enjoy doing with it?
I live in Bend, Oregon, so I like to go outside. I don't know if anybody knows
pretty outside, probably.
Bend, Oregon's all about, but yeah, there's a lot of mountains and forests and rivers and lakes. So I like to dabble in different outdoor activities, although as I get older, it's definitely I'm a cross-country skier instead of downhill now. So, but yeah, mostly just trying to get outside, get some fresh air. Outside of that, my biggest passion is probably travel, and I wish I could do more of that. But honestly, I picked Austin in part because I haven't been there. So
hey, there you go. You got to schedule your work for where you want to go, basically.
Yeah.
It's a good life hack.
Create the life you want, right?
Exactly.
And out of work.
Is there anything that we haven't touched on that you want to touch on? Oh, one thing that I had noted here. Do I assume people can get NABCEP credits for the conference?
Yes, that is the goal. We're in process of creating all this content this summer. So, but the goal is to have them all qualify for NABCEP CEUs for attendees who are going towards a certification or recertification. So yes, that is the intention. We're also looking at trying to get other important credits. So like for folks getting their PE. I think there's different ways that you can qualify credits through the PE path. So that's professional engineer. Local electrical CEUs in Texas, unfortunately, I don't think that we will, just because it's kind of a bigger process. If anybody listening has keys to that lock, let me know. But we might be able to get like Ryan Mayfield's classes, qualify for that at a minimum, but not all 15.
Gotcha. No, that's fair enough. Well, thank you so much for spending some time to talk with me today. If people want to follow what you or Mayfield are doing or check out the conference, where are the best places to look?
Yeah, so like I mentioned in the beginning, we're putting out a lot of content these days between our technical blogs, our Ask Mayfield Anything webinars. We just added a new webinar called Dispatches. So we do have a lot of things going on regularly that you can be learning, kind of getting up to speed on different topics. And so the best way to be aware of it is either through our LinkedIn, so following our LinkedIn company page, and or signing up for our newsletter. And you can do that at the bottom of our homepage.
Well, thank you so much, Laurel. It's been a great pleasure having you here. Wish you all the best with the conference.
Yeah, thanks so much, Derek. Hope to see you there, and hopefully any of your viewers who are, I know, value all the content that you put out there as far as learning and keeping up to date on quality systems are also coming to the conference. It's a limited space, so sign up.